Hi everyone, welcome to another video from GB Tech Reviews. Thanks for joining me today. Now today I thought I'd review the Huawei P30 Pro. This phone obviously was released a few years back now, and we're now in 2021. And I thought I'd let you know about a review, or have a review, and let you know if it's still worth it in 2021. Now, as you all know, with the P30 Pro, it's a 6.47-inch OLED screen. It's 1080 by 2340 and 19 by 59 display with a 398 PPI, not DPI. Now, it's a very nice screen still. It comes up against, all other smartphones still. You don't need these high resolution displays unless you're Samsung, which needs to put as much as they can in. And yeah, it's all personal preference, to be fair. I do like the Samsung screens, but you do lose a lot of battery life as well. Now, with the P30 Pro obviously being a few years old now, you may be thinking to yourself, should I still buy it in 2021? Everyone's saying about the camera. Yeah, you should still buy it, because it's still a good phone. It's just no question about it. I'll go over a few things now on why I think you should still buy it. Obviously, you have the battery life, which the P30 Pro packs a 4,200 milliamp battery. That can translate into about 2 days battery life, or you can push it to 3 days, maybe a bit more if you go into power saving mode. That's with light use. If you use it heavily, you can go through to the second day and probably charge at midday. When I say heavy use, I mean a bit of Facebook, a bit of Pokemon Go, if that's something that you play. Pokemon Go is really demanding with GPS and data and all that stuff. It's not graphically demanding, but Niantic haven't really made the game very well, to be fair. So it's a lot more demanding than it needs to be. It keeps the temperature down. It's quite a happy phone, to be fair. Especially for the age of it now, it's doing a bit better than most other phones still. Not the latest of flagships, but it still holds out against them. Now, you have two options with the display as well. You can go to 1080p or you can go to 720p to obviously make that battery last a lot longer. That's up to you. You can notice the difference, but to be fair, this is on 1080 now, and it's a really nice display to look at. I've had it on 720. And it's not much of a difference, but it's enough of a difference if you're quite fussy, which I'm quite fussy. And if you got a 1080p, you use 1080p. And the battery still lasts a really long time. So there's nothing wrong with that. It also supports 40 watt supercharge, so it charges very fast. I believe it's 0 to 70% in about 30 minutes. So say about 55 minutes to fully charged. Maybe a bit longer than 60 minutes, maybe. Say about 70 minutes. And then you'll be on full charge from 0%. So, that's pretty handy to have. Now, going on to the camera, which is one of the biggest points of this phone, apart from the battery being very good as well, is it's got 4 rear cameras. Now, they say 4, but it's actually only 3, realistically. You've got the 40 megapixel main camera lens, you've got the 8 megapixel telephoto lens, which I believe to be 3 or 5 times optical zoom, and then you have the 20 megapixel wide angle zoom, and then you've got this little dot here is the time of flight, so it will measure the distance between an object to get real depth sensing, so you can get better depth of field. It doesn't really work on most phones, to be fair, even the newest ones. They are getting better, but they haven't improved enough to really be worth it, to be fair. Now, it's got a front-facing camera as well, obviously, and I believe the front-facing camera is 32 megapixels. Now, the selfie camera is a very nice camera, to be fair. It doesn't hold up at all, to be fair, to new phones now, and most phones of this era as well. Like Samsung's portrait selfie modes were really good, sharp, crystal clear. It was only from the P40 Pro onwards that Huawei started to make a decent front-facing camera, and they were bringing out a lot of quality and detail in it, and they were doing a much better job than, well, they were about on par with Samsung. So the P40 Pro isn't the best with front facing. Now as for the video recording, it's, to put it in the most loving way, it's not good. The recording of it is, it's good enough for people that don't use it for profession or anything like that, or as a big hobby. It's not very good at night time recording. It's not very good at stability. It's just not a very good video recorder. And as everyone knows with the P30 Pro, it's a point and shoot camera. It's not for recording, to be fair. And again, it's from the P40 Pro onwards that they made the recording much better for videos with the Huawei phones. Now what it's like to use, I'd say I've always liked Emui. This is running Emui 10.1 at the moment. It's quite slow getting updates in the UK. This is based with EE, I believe. No, this is a 3 one, but it's got an EE SIM card in it. Now it hasn't long had the Emui 10.1 update, so it's probably going to be a long time until I get Emui 11 on here. My Mate 40 Pro has Emui 11, and it's quite a big difference, to be fair. It's nice. Now, that being said, I've always liked it. Not a lot of people like Emui anyway. But, you know, each to their own. It's like Apple. People love Apple, people love Samsung, and people love Huawei. It's all personal preference with that all. And they're all good. They're all nice. Huawei, I think I prefer the most. But, that being said, Samsung's new One UI 3 is extremely nice, and it's got some nice animations on it. I can only recommend trying it out because it is good. So Emui, I need to catch up a bit with that. Day-to-day activities and stuff like listening to music on the phone's not the best. It's only got the one speaker down here. I believe it does try to play a bit out the top there, but you don't get anything of worth. I'm just going to swap hands here because my right arm is struggling. Now, it feels nice in the hand, especially without a case. It's very nice. It's light. There's no real weight balance difference with the camera being up there. They seem to have got that pretty damn well. Gaming, it games pretty well, keeps the temperature down, which I said earlier. And watching movies on here, I don't do a lot of Netflixing on the phone. We've got a TV for that. But we have done it now and again when we've gone to McDonald's. And it gets loud enough, especially with 2 kids in the back whinging or chewing and all that noise that people do. So it does alright, to be fair. Yeah. So as for music and stuff like that, it's not the best. But it does the job, you know. It gets loud enough. It does get a bit tinny, especially after about 3/4 of the volume. But it does a good job. As for the performance of the phone, I've never had an issue. Going from 90 Hz and 120 Hz refresh rate to this 60 Hz, it's still really nice. It just works. Doesn't seem to lag, bug out or anything, apart from Google Apps, which seem to be struggling a bit more with the P30 Pros now. They're not as supported as they should be, considering they're still on the phone. Now, that being said, I don't think this has ever crashed on me. Going through loads of games, banking apps, Pokemon Go as well, obviously. And it keeps up very well. I don't play big games like PUBG or PUBG, I think, whatever you call it. I've played Call of Duty on here and it does it really smoothly. It warms up a little bit but never gets hot, which is very good, and that's better than most Samsung I've ever used, especially the Exynos Samsungs. Now, yeah, so performance-wise, it's good. It's got expandable storage, obviously, down the bottom here as well. That's with the Huawei SIM, you know, the Huawei versions, Nano SIM, I believe. So as a verdict, and there's a bit of competition out there for this phone now. There's you got the S10 Plus, you got the P30 standard one. You still got the P20, which has updated since I had it years ago, and that's a lot better now, especially with the camera.